EA Sports is rebooting its college football series for next generation consoles and announcing on February 2nd that it will end the hiatus the video game has taken since then Michigan quarterback Denard Robinson appeared on the cover of NCAA Football 14. Sounds so crazy to think we're talking about NCAA football all over again. But ESPN reports that NCAA doesn't need to change its rules before the video game can return, even when current NCAA rules prohibit EA Sports from paying players to use their names, images, likeliness in the game. But Congress is expected to address college sports reform and compensation in some way in the relatively near future, and most likely before EA Sports would be ready to roll out its new game. So, Kevin, are you in favor of student athletes forming a union to guarantee the right to collective bargaining for future college athletes?
Well, you're talking about NCAA football, which actually gets most of the donors. A lot of money comes in because of the football program. So essentially, they are the highest paid of all the sports that every school has. I mean, some schools are known for big basketball programs, but you got to look at people who play, lacrosse or in track and field, things like that, where there's not as much money, or volleyball.
And they should have changed sports as a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
No, Kevin,
well, most of the great athletes are multi-talented. They play multi-sports, and then they just commit. Like you point out, Denard Robinson was a quarterback in college, and when he came out into the NFL, because he was so fast, they converted him to a receiver. He played 4 years for Jacksonville, then that was the end of his career.
Well, how are they going to treat this, though? Because it could be such a slippery slope. Because what if
it really is?
EA Sports doesn't want to pay for all the players. They only want to pay for a few because they don't feel like they're going to make their bang out of their buck with the players that just suck, unfortunately.
What's probably going to happen is they'll just probably market it to the best of the college players and pay them. The other ones can't cry or complain because they're not going to use their name in the game.
No, look at this. You can give a base just like they do if you're an extra in a movie, okay? You can get a base for just having it being part of the stuff. Here's your base. And then if you are a star and you're garnering that attention and people are buying off your likeness and name, then you pay more. Now you're like a day player. Now you're a recurring, right? So they could easily do it. They're just trying to gyp these poor students out of money as they're making millions. I don't care, free education or not. Throw that in and give them a piece of the pie because these corporations are making that money.
See, I think that's
billions. They're making billions.
Oh, billions.
But the real question is, should student athletes be considered employees? Because after all, college is meant for students to learn. It's not a job. So, Kevin, where you stand with this? I mean,
well, yes. I mean, if they're going to get paid to play, they already, obviously they get their scholarships and they get put up in their house, but they don't have much, whatever per diem they get to live off of.
There's free food plans. They get a full ride scholarship.
Oh,
they get free
Chris,
housing.
I'm sorry. Okay.
They get free housing on campus, even with teammates. I mean, what more does a student athlete need?
You think about it, like I was just mentioning with all the other sports, it's going to be unfair playing field. How are they going to create this equality? Because a lot of the money and the attention goes to football, then basketball, then baseball, then on down the line. Do you know of a school that's known for soccer?
Well, the reason why I'm only mentioning this is I saw that former D1 college basketball player Cody McDavis from the University of Northern Carolina warned that universities shouldn't cover the cost for paying athletes because it would result in sports programs being cut. And what would be the first sports program to be cut? Does anybody know?
Oh, soccer. Probably something to do with women because women.
It's women's sports, like Marissa said, because they don't pull in the same revenue like these D1 male sports programs.
Okay, and that's what I'm going to call BS, BS.
You really think so?
Yes, because it's not the schools themselves who are going to be paying these employees. It's the video game people who, as Kevin said, making the billions.
No, Marissa, let's be real. Like, how many times has a women basketball college sport been televised on screen? I mean, luckily it got hyped up because of Sabrina last season, but you don't have someone of that same extent right now. And it's just, sorry, ESPN, it's not my program. They don't put them at the forefront. So, hey, we got to move on.